Alright, TLDR. Me, my wife, and my kid were at a Mexican restaurant for lunch. We hadn't gone out in ages. And I was like, I want to get out of the house. Very rare feeling. We went to a Mexican restaurant. My son, off the kid menu, orders a cheeseburger. And we were like, you getting a cheeseburger when we're at a taco place? What are you doing? And he's like, the last time I had a taco, it like dripped in everywhere and it just got all over me. And simultaneously, my wife and I both went, skill issue. I love that woman. Dude, he got destroyed in that restaurant.
Something terrible happened here.
Smashy would have been proud. The glorification of Royal Hungarian Saints masterwork painting. What is this? Hiram Shaw's Church. Mystery. Chat, y'all know anyone in Marvel named Hiram Shaw?
This area, it feels wrong somehow. I sense an old suffering.
Members of the local coven were persecuted here. And worse.
Witches?
Salem's history with witches
Salem
may have been
witches.
distorted over the years.
Salem witch
But
trials?
some things are true. The witches of Salem did their best to thwart Shaw, but he rallied his congregation against them. The catalyst of the infamous Salem witch trials. When the coven called out in distress, it was Lilith and Sarah who came to their aid.
They set off in search of a new foe, just like that?
They were eager, but you make it sound as if they wanted this to happen. They knew something was wrong, and they thought they could help.
Chthon's corruption had taken root in the New World, just like the colonists themselves.
And while Lilith and Sarah were still preoccupied in Transia, they entrusted the Moon Seals to the Knights of Wondercore,
Little lag spike there.
who brought it to the Coven with the hope that its power would reinforce them enough to deal with Shaw.
But that is not what happened.
Unfortunately, no. When the plague came to Salem, the same one that afflicted your father, Shaw used it to further agitate his flock by placing the blame squarely on the Coven.
And the witches?
The mob was vicious. And the rest is history.
But what about the Moon Seal?
After the trials, the Moon Seal vanished along with Shaw. Without drawing any conclusions, I think we can both guess where it went.
But that would be drawing a conclusion.
If this was his church, then it is possible the seal is still here, or somewhere nearby.
You read my mind. Good hunting, dear.
Explore the church. I like how I could have reached for the doorknob, but instead I just blasted the door off its hinges. With power word, get out of my way. Faded Journal.
This must be Shaw's study.
Journal of Shaw. The scroll contains more influence than I initially perceived, for it is not merely power within, but corruption beyond my wildest imaginations. For each mark upon the land, a page could have been traced to its location, aligned to a person of power who handled fragments of the blasphemous tome. I have come to believe that the dark and destructive events that plague this land are not the chronological rhythms fate has set in motion, but the dark holds sway. 2 cauldron recipes unlocked. Faded Journal. Shaw. I was wrong to let my heart linger on the thoughts of Lilith. She and her foul sister are... Oh god, is this guy like my dad? She and her foul sister are worse than I could have imagined. She's even corrupted a man from my congregation to her cause. These women have more influence than that coven, even without their roots in this village. My congregation size falters. I raise my hands to Chthon nightly, crying out for guidance. Oh, that sounds like a great idea.
Noble Ushtur guides my hand.
Hunter's Journal. The cold depths of winter challenge us all. I'm grateful for Agatha and her control of the elements, especially fire, on these dark days. It is hard to believe that even with the threat of Lilith looming, that cold and hunger can draw up so much of our energy. Agatha brings me to her altar to train, and says that by the end of winter I will also be a master of the elements. I look forward to that day, if only to leave the snow behind us. My last key. Marksman. Combat bonus. 2 vulnerable at the start of the next fight. Moonflower. Professor Xavier. Professor X channels his power to raise the knowledge necessary to be shared with his pupils. He holds in his hands the key to understanding. This card represents guidance and wisdom from a teacher. Journal of Shaw. It pains me to set these words to page, for my cause is righteous. Any admittance of weakness I find unfathomable, but I must tread with the utmost care. The whispering specters intensify, testing my will at every turn. This page, I have come to realize that it is responsible for the corruption of not only the souls of man, but the destruction of entire civilizations throughout history. Today it is the people of Salem that suffer.
This ward is not like anything I have seen on the grounds before.
And yet, it's familiar somehow.
Like the wards of protection that Wanda invoked to protect Dr. Strange's sanctum?
Very perceptive, dear. Maybe you should approach the good doctor and see if he has any insights. And Hunter, be circumspect. Dr. Strange is no fool.
Talk to Strange. Okay. So I'm up here. Alright, so Shaw's Church is now a landmark. I wonder, with the new power words we've got, if there's anything else we can access on the grounds now. Wanda's Journal. What a strange place this is. So much terrible history and so much corruption, but the energy here draws me in. Maybe it longs to be cleansed of the evil of Hiram Shaw. After all, this was once a place of peace and community before everything. I found a page of a journal from back then, written by Shaw himself. I almost thought the page could have some kind of bad energy, but it was just a piece of paper in the end. Although, it's made me wonder about what I know to be true around here. I trust Caretaker and Agatha completely, but I'm starting to think that I don't know as much as they let me believe. Another painting. I don't have any more keys, so I can't get that. Where am I right now, just so I know? Up there. Oh, it marks the chest on the map. That's good.
Autumn be praised.
Huh. There's a free key. Okie dokie. Martha Richards. This references a tree the villagers called the Life Taker. Its limbs held so many of the dead, it needed to be fitted with iron supports. Martha Richards met her fate there. Is that any relation to Reed Richards? Wait, what?
Autumn thinks otherwise. If it was here, Autumn would show me.
Maybe I've used
Autumn must
that
not
spell
see it
too
that
many
way.
times tonight. Okay, where am I at right now? I'm like right there. Okay. Alright. Let's take a break from exploring.
Really hope I won't need to repeat myself after tonight.
Is Strange still awake?
I know this team can come together.
Oh, he's
We
in the
have
library.
Ah, Hunter, I was just admiring the collection. Someone spent a great deal of time piecing this library together. I hope you don't mind me, having a look around.
Of course not, Doctor. The library is an asset to us all.
I see I'm not the only one who's taken an interest in these works. You haven't been getting into anything precarious, I hope?
I have found something on the Abbey grounds that I think you should see.
Oh, sounds mysterious. By all means, lead the way.
Where am I right now?
Avoid venturing this far from the Abbey, especially at night. It makes Tony nervous, you see. That was an uncomfortable wake-up call. Not in the I'm concerned about your personal well-being, Doctor sense. There's an unsettling air about this place.
This church belonged to a preacher named Hiram Shaw. His influence turned Salem against its coven.
A charismatic personality and a fearful populace can do much evil together.
There was more to it than that.
Yes, I suspected as much. You were right to bring this to my attention, Hunter.
I thought it resembled one of your wards of protection.
There's a reason for that. It's the same magic Wanda invoked in her attempts to protect the Sanctum. But what is it that you're chasing out here? These wards aren't something to toy with.
I will not know for sure until I get past this. Is there any way to dispel it?
Unfortunately, no. What good would the wards of protection be if they were so easily broken? But I have been wrong before, at least recently. Do you have any suspicions as to who may have conjured this here?
Wanda? But I'm supposed to be circumspect.
I think most of us see a ward and assume Dr. Strange is involved.
While wards certainly are my forte, I'm afraid I can't take credit for this particular spell.
The only way I will know for sure is to find a way through to the other side.
I'll think on it and see if I can come up with some way to assist you, Hunter. For now, though, you'll have to be patient.
Okay. Alright. Cool. Zoom back to the Abbey. And let's nap. Little sleep, little nap, little slap. Go to the next day. The eye skill's a bit wonky. You have to be facing the eye on the bridge looking towards the gap. Oh, you think that was the issue? Okay. Intel, Gamma, anything on Superlink? Wait, hold on. Have I seen this stuff? Let's see. Okay, right here. Global News Post. Breaking. Tragedy unfolded in the outskirts of Flagpole, Arizona today, where over 24 were confirmed dead at the Quinton Carnival. That's where we fought Sabretooth. According to County Medical Examiner Bubniak, the total number of casualties is expected to climb. It's a real mess in there. Strange. I'll grant you that Vision... Logan. Blaze lost his people. I don't see him coming back from this. Strange. Nevertheless, we must recover the final page. Logan. After the mess of the carnival, that's the actual one thing he has left to lose. How do you see that going, Doc? Strange. I'll grant you that visions of his magnanimity are sparse. I don't say that word often. Yet no future where reality survives this threat involves Blaze retaining the page. Robbie. Johnny Blaze is a legend. He'll want to punish the wicked for who killed his friends and family. No way he'll let Lilith get her hands on it. Strange. And Lilith isn't the only one who wants the page. Logan. The guy's list is longer than mine. If he can cross it off all at once, he'll do it. Magnanimity, yeah. Tony Stark. This post is restricted to the Midnight Suns. I haven't seen Steven this depressed since they shut down Fancy Cloaks and Surcoats magazine. Tony. Do you mind, I don't know, keeping an ear out? Nico. Why can't you do that? Tony. Too many practical jokes. He always freaks out when I'm nice to him, and if I'm myself, I'll just aggravate him at a time when he doesn't need it. If you wouldn't mind being there, if he's in the mood to talk, will do wonders. Oh, and don't tell him I asked you to do this. He'll get prickly. Robbie. Tony, you need to talk to your friend. Tony. I don't know. When he's like this, I'm a handful of fishhooks in a room full of balloons, but I guess I could try. That's quite the metaphor.
The legend walks among us.
I saw Charlie earlier and she was climbing the walls. I'm not sure I want to see what a bored hellhound is capable of. Discover something interesting on the Abbey grounds with Charlie. Accept.
Thanks, Hunter.
Oh, that's right. Whenever I go running around, I can bring Charlie
okay.
with me
Good
just
to
for
see
like a walk. Forgot about that. Let's see.
Nice to get some fresh air.
Daily sparring. Got plenty of money. Who is... Actually, wait, this is for friendship, right? Alright, Logan's my lowest friendship.
Ain't gonna go easy, bub. Nice match,
Dude, imagine sparring with a guy running at you with adamantium claws. No! Stop!
Peace.
Where did Blade go? There he is. I want to invite him to the Spooky Haven. Will it let me? Oh no, it won't let me. Wait, a new post added to Super Lane. Electrical storm in Alamo Gordo causes severe injuries. Dozens report electrical burns. Steve, the people affected worked at the nuclear facility. That storm is not random. I'll bet my shield on it. Logan, you get to keep your shield then. The X-Men are there and Storm says the storm is no storm. Steve, it's safe to assume nothing is random anymore. Carol, it might as well be random. If there's a pattern, nobody has figured it out. Not the X-Men, not S.H.I.E.L.D., and not us with the best of Tony's tech. Strange. I beg your pardon? Carol, and a Sorcerer Supreme. Strange. Thank you. Logan, who fishes for too many compliments? Alright.
I thought I had sensed a great power approaching.
Let's invite her to the Moist Clearing. We're gonna invite Nico to a moist location. Wanna go look at mushrooms?
So about the Staff of One.
I don't let anyone borrow it, if that's what you're about to ask.
No. How do you trick it into casting the same spell more than once?
Oh, I try not to think of it that way. Not anymore. It's like a partner I had to learn to work with, or a roommate to live with.
But I have seen you cast the same spell before.
That's magic I picked up on my own. I use the Staff of One to focus and augment it, but I don't pull out the big guns unless things get, let's say, apocalyptic.
You do not think all of this qualifies?
Yeah, this isn't my first. If things get really bad, I'll impose my will on reality itself and hope for the best. But if I phrase it poorly, I could turn all jet fuel into chocolate pudding, or delete everyone with variations of the name Steve. Think of all the Estebans, Hunter, and the Etiennes.
Delete
I do.
all Steves?
Every time I use the Staff of One to alter reality.
No, hang on to that for, the other lady.
Can we do it again?
Okay, that's done. Alright, forge. Alright, research. Let's see, advanced materials, robotic arm. Upgrade 2 blade abilities, craft 5 items in the bench. Hero op with Captain America, friendship level 2 with Nico. 3, alright. I'll do this. It's the only research we can do right now. Got a gamma coil.
Sure thing.
Open that up.
Genius inventor strikes again.
Stink of Fear. Taunt each enemy in an area and gain counter. The problem is then, he takes full damage from all those hits. Mark target. Piercing slash. If target has block, do double damage. Holy Gift. The next card you play does not discard. Oh, we've already got Holy Gift plus. Alright. I don't have either of these cards, so I'll take them. Stink of Fear. Ability card to exchange research. Wait, what was challenges? A unique tactical challenge to test Hunter's skill and... Oh, we already did that one. Okay. Yeah. That was how we got her legendary card. Okay. Said there was something on the super link in the middle of that? Logan, you know Kitty Pride well, yes? Nico, don't answer that. Logan, yeah, why? Ilyana, do you think Kitty and Nico would hit it off? Nico, magic, stop. Ilyana, why? I could picture the two of you hanging out together. Nico, okay, I threw up on her at a party last year. There's no coming back from that. Logan, wait, you're Puko Minoru? Nico, see? Ilyana, why didn't she phase out of the way? Nico, she did, but I wasn't done. She phased back into the second wave of puke. For anyone who doesn't know, Kitty Pride can kind of go intangible and like walk through walls. And apparently, through puke too.
Where in the hell are you, Blaze?
Oh, here we go. Serene Clearing. I got a music box for you. Oh my god, we're having a grapes party.
It was hard enough getting used to the Midnight Suns. Now we have doubled in size.
You are one of the Midnight Suns.
Now, yes, but not at the beginning. I was the strange woman who spoke to no one. It must be worse for you, Hunter. All the faces are new, except for Caretaker.
I enjoy meeting new people. It keeps me grounded in this century.
I also came here knowing only Caretaker. And what did I do? I hid in my room for weeks. I will tell you a secret. Do not laugh. I have a tiny envy for how you make friends so quickly.
How so?
It comes so easy to you. Even when you are a bat. You are a likable bat.
Joke. Quit talking about my butt.
You like my butt?
Hunter, this right here, this is you being a bat.
As long as I am likable.
Up for debate. Whatever you're doing, keep doing. Don't waste the time hiding in your room.
Give her the music box. I've been betting for a while that she is the person that this is for.
Hunter,
Like the legendary
you have
gift, plus
excellent
5.
taste.
Where in the hell are you, Blaze?
What do you think of Logan?
It's good to have him here again. He's always been a trusted friend.
Excuse me. I was reaching for the mute button. And I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna sneeze, and then I sneezed. I didn't want to subject that to you guys. Sorry.
I can see that. He seems to be a man of good character.
Sneaky
despite
sneeze.
the claws.
Always thought his claws were his best feature. They protected us, Agatha and I. Could even say they saved our lives. It must have been, what, 1985? 84? I remember because Agatha crimped her hair and shoulder pads had cast some strange spell over my wardrobe.
Shoulder pads?
We looked quite ridiculous, but we were happy. Well, happy until a rather disturbed coven of witches by the name of the Salem Seven invaded our home.
Did your shoulder pads protect you? No, this is gonna make her mad.
That must have been terrifying.
It was. But what was even worse was that they were Agatha's own grandchildren by her son Nicholas Scratch.
They tried to kidnap their grandmother?
They felt she had betrayed which kind by choosing to live among humans, and came to drag her back to New Salem by force. Logan was staying with us when they invaded our home. He hid us in a secret passage and refused to tell them where we were. He kept our secret and fought them off long enough for Agatha to invoke a banishing spell. Without him, they would have surely kidnapped her. Or maybe worse.
And I thought my issues with my mother were bad.
Yes, indeed. It seems like most of us here have dysfunctional relationships with our families, at best.
I am beginning to think it may be a prerequisite for becoming a hero.
Speaking of dysfunctional dynamics, I do trust you, you know, even though I don't always show it.
I know.
Even though you don't always show it?
Something like that.
Common ground? Who would have thought?
Did he say Cyclops?
Alright.
Did it hurt your feelings?
Did I have intel cache
What's
decryption?
new, Hunter?
Central will crack the code.
There we go. Okay. I had a
Got some
thing.
ops
I
ready
need to
for
send
you.
Captain America on a thing. This one will expire, so we'll do that one first.
Happy to help.
Okay.
See you soon.
I know I've asked a lot of you recently, dear, especially when it comes to these little excursions. But there is one more thing you could do to make an old witch happy.
If it were not so good to see you again, I might think you were taking advantage of me.
Hunter, you certainly are the product of your environment. Between Sarah and I suppose we're just lucky you didn't turn out more cynical. Besides, this might be interesting. Now that the altar is in working order, we just need to reignite my cauldron.
How interesting can that be? Your cauldron was always churning with some concoction in the old days.
I think everybody will notice if I
Yes.
just suddenly start using
And
her
how do
cauldron.
you think that was possible? It's not just any flame we're talking about here. Maybe you've heard tale of the demon fueling the forge? A fire-breathing demon, no less, blazing as hot as the flames of hell itself. Fortunately, I'll only require a single ember.
I can see where this is going. How do I find it?
I've enchanted this vessel to protect you from the ember's heat. You should be able to get close enough to retrieve it through one of the old mine tunnels beneath the forge.
I have seen the tunnels. They were here before the Abbey.
I'm not surprised. You always have been curious. The tunnel may lead close enough to the heart of the forge to retrieve an ember.
Okay. Finn J says, good evening, Muckmods, editing Oxy Chat. Hello, Finn! Let's see. Excerpt from the Origins of the Elder Gods. The belief closely held among scholars of the secret histories of the world is that the Elder Gods were brought into creation by the Demiurge soon after our planet had formed. Of the ethereal divinities birthed all those eons ago, the most powerful were Oster, Set, Gaia, and Chthon. For millions of years, the Elder Gods ruled over all of creation, but each sought out knowledge that would alter their paths and the fate of the planet itself. Oster, fascinated by what lay beyond Earth's firmament, sent out for the heavens. Chthon studied the mystical forces of the universe, harnessing them to his will, becoming Earth's first black magician. Set acquired the most dangerous knowledge of all. He discovered that by devouring his fellow gods, he could consume their power. Seeing this, most of the Elder Gods followed his example. Wars of cosmic proportions broke out amongst them as they struggled for dominance. But with their actions began a degeneration, and those gods who had consumed their kin were soon reduced to demons. Only Gaia had refrained, and so saved herself from the fall. By communing with the Demiurge, she was able to bring a tomb into the world. He would become known as the God Eater. Mythica Zoologica, Wild Hunt. Through the occurrence of the phenomenon is widely over-reported, there are still well-documented cases of the Wild Hunt occurring in modern times. If one wishes to hear the hounds of Anwen as they course overhead, areas of historic suffering are always an excellent place to start. And as we look upon them is to look upon death itself. Best to wait until Selenian illumination is at its lowest point. Survey notes, exploratory iron mining operations began near Salem in the mid-1600s. The grounds the abbey came to rest on was honeycombed with old tunnels. Most of the tunnels were sealed, but at least one remains open on the grounds immediately behind the forge. That seems relevant currently. The Art of War by Sun Tzu. We read that before. Hidden Veil of Gods and Man. Gaia is the protectorate of our world and the single power that holds the darkness at bay. Her mere presence is vital to restoring balance within the Elder Gods and revitalizing the Earth itself. Followers of Gaia seek to channel her restorative powers and aid her against Chthon and minions. Excerpt from Wanda's journal. I found a strange ward blocking the way behind Shaw's old church. The magic is certainly arcane, but there's something else going on as well. I've tried all manner of counterspells to break through,